yes, the horses in our area are a big deal. They're beautiful. It's a big business for the horse people, but for the rest of us, we just enjoy watching them run. I love in the morning when the young horses are so active and they're just running around. They're just running around. It's just a beautiful thing to see. And there's also a place Robin and I went to where they have retired horses. They're old and they're so gentle. They'll come up to you and just nuzzle their big head against you. I thought I had a big head. They have a big head. But they nuzzle that big head against you, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm so glad that there is a place for retired horses, if that makes sense. Because I don't think they'd be alive if there wasn't an organization that did that. And if you don't know where I am, I'm in Ocala, Florida, which is in Marion County. And Marion County is known as the horse capital of the world. There's something in the grass, in the soil here. I think it's limestone. I can't remember what it is, but there's something in the soil that makes the grass very, very good for a horse. Maybe I should eat more grass. But anyway, the horses that are here are really outstanding. You take a short drive from where I live. If I went out right now, let's see, it's 7 o'clock, 10 minutes to 7 a.m. So if I went out right now, sunrise, I'm sure I would find horse trainers on their horses, galloping through the fields, galloping around the tracks, training those horses. And if I went to the retirement place, I don't think they'd be running around. They'd just be there, just grazing, just enjoying the morning. The people who work there are so gentle and they're like angels. It's like, God's ushers. Yeah, God's ushers. I don't know if that's the right way. Anyway, let me show you how I did this one. It's a very simple one. I tried a different technique using the water to paint the horse and then put the color onto the water. I'm not sure that I accomplished what I wanted to with that technique because I ended up painting over it, but so it is what it is, and I learn. Every time I do one of these, I learn a little bit. And hopefully you're doing well. I hear garbage truck outside, so it's probably interfering with this video, but that's okay. I'm gonna go to the video I made and show you how I painted this, okay? Here we go. Okay, let's start with a blank piece of paper, of course. I'm going to start with a pencil. A rounded area for the back of the horse. So, I live in a place where there are a lot of horse farms. And if you go out early, you can see the horses being trained to run, because most of the horses here are being raised to be racing horses. It's why they're so valuable and why it's such a big business. And horses are, to me, more than just a business. They are just beautiful creatures. But I'm not in the horse business, so I don't know that I know much about the business of horses. But I know it's big business. But the horses themselves are beautiful. Alright, let's put a girl on the horse, I think. She's about that high, I guess. I want this to be a silhouette. I don't really want this to be detailed. Well, you already know that, don't you? Because you were watching the intro, of course. My sister loved horses. My sister wanted a horse. She wanted a horse so bad. And I, like an arrogant young man, promised her that I would buy her a horse. I say arrogant because I really thought that I was somehow going to be successful, financially successful. But that never happened. And she passed away. It's been 2008. So that's 16 years ago already. And when I see the horses here, riding or being trained, I often think of my sister. Her name was Doreen. I don't know what I'm looking for here on this face. I just maybe hairs, just like the hairs on the back of the horse's neck, the mane on the horse. So I'll just keep it roughly penciled in. That's going to be my silhouette right there. My silhouette. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to just do the water. Only the water. And I'm going to only put the water inside the silhouette. I'm kind of trying something that I never tried before. I had this idea yesterday. I probably didn't invent this idea, but I want to try it. Just put water on here. And then what I want to do is I want to let the paint kind of fill in everything that's wet. Let the paint do what it does. Let's just hope I can pull this off. Like I say, you already know because you've seen it. And then I have to let it dry. And what I'll do is I'll read you a poem from Ted Hughes. He wrote a poem called The Horses. I think you'll like it. So just getting it wet. I don't know if you can tell that it's wet yet. I don't know. I just want to get it wet. Kind of a little soaking wet, if you know what I mean. And give it a moment to soak into the paper. Yeah, there's a lot of horses here. In fact, there's an equestrian center that is so popular. It is very popular. It's gigantic. Alright, I'm going to try this now. I want to see what happens here. If I just let the water do its thing. Let's put a little bit of blue and a little bit of black. Just let the water spread. Let's see what happens. Just let it spread. I'm going to put some orange up here. I don't want it to be one color. I want it to spread all over, but not past the lines. The reason I put orange there is because I think I want that to be a little bit lighter. And then I'll worry about the little flyaway hairs after it dries, after I do the background. Just trying something new. Putting the water down on the paper in a calculated design, and then letting the watercolor flow like watercolor does. And see if it can work as a great way to create an image, especially a silhouetted image. Can you see what I'm trying to do? So far, I'm pretty happy with the way it's working out. I could easily see this messing up, though. Okay. We can always come back and change this, but I think I want to make it look that watercolor look, you know. That would be lighter in some areas and darker in other areas. Okay, now I have to let that dry. So I'm going to let that dry. And I have a poem from Ted Hughes. This is called The Horses. Ted Hughes, by the way, lived from 1930 until 1998. So he only lived 68 years. And this is his poem. I climbed through woods in the hour before dawn, dark, evil air, a frost-making stillness, not a leaf, not a bird, a world cast in frost. I came out above the wood where my breath left tortuous statues in the iron light. but the valleys were draining the darkness, till the moorline, blackening dregs of the brightening gray, halved by sky ahead, and I saw the horses. Huge in the dense gray, 10 together, megalith still, they breathed, making no move. With draped manes and tilted hind hooves, making no sound. I passed. Not one snorted or jerked its head. Gray, silent fragments of a gray, silent world. I listened in emptiness on the moor ridge. The curlew's tear turned its edge on the silence. Slowly, detail leafed from the darkness. Then the sun, orange, red erupted. Silently and splitting to its core tore the flung cloud, shook the gulf open, showed blue and the big planets hanging. I turned, stumbling in the fever of a dream, down towards the dark woods from the kindling tops, and came to the horses. There, still they stood, but now steaming and glistening under the flow of light, their draped stone manes, their tilted hind hooves stirring under a thaw, while all around them the frost showed its fires. But still they made no sound. Not one snorted or stamped. Their hung heads patient as the horizons, high over valleys in the red leveling rays. In din of the crowded streets going among the years, the faces, may I still meet my memory in so lonely a place. Between the streams and the red clouds, hearing curlews, hearing the horizons endure. That is from Ted Hughes, copyrighted 1957. Wow, he passed away in 1998. So that's his beautiful poem. And my silhouette of a horse, I think I'm pretty happy with it. But I have to wait for it to dry. So I'll turn off the camera and let it dry, and I'll be right back. Okay, now it's dry. I have one little area that I feel is an area I don't like. This tiny little area right here. Let's see if I can lift it off. Just get there. It's a little area where the water seems to have bled over the line I wanted. I wanted that to be more of a, I don't know, more like a horse. Looks like a blemish right now. Yeah, it's kind of erasing it. That's okay, that'll work. There. Now, I don't know if you can see the orange that I put into the silhouette right there. But I did that so that I could hopefully create the illusion of some backlit, a backlit illusion. Which means I want the middle here to be lighter. Let's see if I can do this. See if I can make the back orange and red, and try to keep it keeping it light is going to be the key here, and maybe even making it somewhat cloudy. against the horse. Oops. Yeah, try to get it cloudy. Right, let's keep it watered down. Keep it light. Keep it watered down. Over here. Keep spreading the water. Kind of like this idea of doing a silhouette. A silhouette. Some of those yellows from this other paint kit. Put some yellows right there. So it blends in with these reds. Maybe makes it a little bit brighter. There we go. Maybe we need a horizon in there. Maybe we need some kind of a background. I don't know. I think it would take away from it. I think maybe I need to work the horse a little more. I'm not sure. Make it a little bit darker. Well, I definitely need the hairs coming off of it. Okay, so now I have to wait for the back to dry, otherwise it's going to bleed into it. So let me turn off the camera again, and I'll be back when the background dries. Okay, the background is dry. I do think I want the horse to be darker, at least in the internal parts of him. So I will just kind of dab it on there, make it darker. I kind of like it being a little bit blurry on the edges there. So that's okay. Maybe even on her. Maybe I'll make it darker on the edge, on the side here. Maybe the front of her is more. See if I can pull that off. I do like the idea of the hair flowing more. Keeping a little bit watered down. Yeah, there are so many horses around here. I'm pretty sure that I live, I think I've mentioned this to you before, I'm pretty sure that I live on the horse farm. It's not a horse farm anymore, but I'm pretty sure I live where my sister used to take horseback riding lessons. Isn't that strange how that worked out? I didn't know it at the time, but later on I started thinking about where it might have been, and this is probably it. Everything changes. Things get torn down. Homes get built. Where once was a horse farm is now a subdivision, or whatever you call it. A community. I just kind of want this a little bit darker than it was. It's still okay if it's blotchy. I kind of like that blotchy watercolor look, you know? Kind of like it. It's pretty interesting how it's working out. Okay, now let me try and get some little wisps. I'm going to use that little tiny brush. Try to get some wisps of hair from her. And the hair of the horse also has to be doing the same thing. As you flop it around. Little tiny hairs. A magnificent mane. Either she's riding the horse very fast or there's just a lot of wind. I just like the way that looks. It gives it more motion and emotion. Well, there we have our horse. I'm pretty sure I'm almost done with it. Maybe a little more facial feature here. A little bit more nose. All right, I'm going to let it dry and I'll be right back. Well, this is definitely different than other paintings I've done. Definitely approaching it from a different starting point. Silhouette idea. I don't know, what do you think? What do you think of that? Well, like I say, it is what it is. So maybe next time I would do something different. Maybe more detail, maybe less silhouette-y. But I'll find somebody who will love this. Oh, I'm going to give this in the group of cards that I give to the church. So there will probably be somebody who likes it. All right. I think I'm done. Thank you for watching and for all your kind comments, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.